Ladies and gentlemen, here we go with InControl against Ret. It's going to be Evil Geniuses against Team Liquid, good versus evil. And I'm joined alongside my good old friend Orb. Orb, this is going to be a sick Protoss vs. Civ starting at Antigua Shipyard.
Oh yeah, man, Antigua Shipyard PVZ, pretty good map for it. You know, you can actually set up a Forge expansion not as easily as on a map like Shakira's Plateau, where you have that small ramp. You still have a ramp. It's just about like 1.5 times as big. So you can still set it up. It's just a little bit more difficult.
I think
so
the best would be... Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just about to say, who knows if he's going to do that. But InControl PVZ does really like that Forge Fast Expand, so I wouldn't be surprised to see it.
InControl, I've talked to him. He loves Forge Fast Expand. That's all he does. I know his PVZ, or rather his confidence in PVZ, has been kind of not the best. He's had a lot of trouble with PVZ. I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Who isn't, man?
What Protoss have I heard that says PVZ is easy? I don't know.
No one. No one, man. It's a hard matchup.
It is, man.
But you know what? He's a player that, you know, I've watched his stream quite a lot. He's a player that can kind of pull any little trick out. He will absolutely go for any advantage that he sees available, no matter if it's cheesy or if it's a macro advantage. I've seen him play very standard macro games, and he does like that kind of death ball Protoss style, where he just builds up to the 200-200 with a lot of Colossi, a lot of Sentries and Stalkers. You know, we might not see that this game. Who knows if we'll actually be able to get to that point in this game. I mean, Ret is such a beast. Ret is probably one of my favorite ZVPers. This guy is unreal. Most of the time that he sees a Forge Fast Expand, if he hasn't already thrown down gas and he went like hatch first, sometimes he goes up to 4 hatch before he even throws down his first geyser. And it can be really difficult for a Protoss player to deal with since there's not many ways to put on pressure after going for a Forge expansion.
Yeah, we'll see if Ret's going to be able to see that right away. It does look like InControl will get into his opponent's base directly first thing. And he sees, okay, Ret is going for a spawning pool first. It's going to bait that Forge. I don't know even if he has to get that Forge right away, but still, I would expect the Forge and then a Nexus, then some cannons. Yeah. Not to actually put down right away, because this is kind of a later spawning pool.
Yeah, and InControl also, I mean, he's a player that really, really likes to do cannon rushes in PVZ. He likes to be able to try to take an early lead by setting himself up. And look at that. He's going to set up the pylon. So he almost always likes to get that Forge first. Even if he thinks he might be able to go Nexus first, he will often go for the Forge first so he can actually set up a cannon rush. Now, who knows if he's just going to use that to try to block the expansion, or if he will let it complete and get the cannons.
Does this actually block this completely? I think
it's just, it blocks it by one hex. So, okay. I mean, Ret could just drop his hatchery down and just be a little bit inefficient with his mining, but we are going to see a cannon going down from InControl.
Oh, wow.
It's been scouted by Ret.
Go down.
Yep, and he's going to throw down another pylon to try to block that off. Is he going to throw down the last one here? No, he's just going to leave his probe there. Nope. I thought maybe he was going to block that off to try to prevent the units from getting to it, but Ret, feeling very calm since he has not even taken the expansion, so is not under that much threat there, is not even going to, you know, have to go send drones to deal with that. He's not under any pressure from that. It's not even guarding the ramp. This is the problem with this this cannon rush, is that it only blocks this expansion. So Ret can easily just go take a different expansion, and there, that's exactly what he did. Went to the third, and he can just leave with these Zerglings. So unfortunately, this is not the most effective cannon rush. All it can really help you with is blocking this natural, but by the time Ret actually wants to take another hatchery, he'll probably have enough units out to actually be able to kill that off.
Yeah, it looks like Ret is bearing down on his opponent right now. It looks like that photon cannon might be finished in time. Just depends if Ret goes straight for that top or not. Oh, this is going to cut it really close. I think he might be able to swing by in the nick of time. Yes, he...
Oh. But he decides against it. I think you were right. He could have gotten in there. Probably would have kept at least 2 Zerglings alive, maybe 3. And that could have been great to get that scouting information as well as put some pressure on InControl in the main. But did decide that he didn't want to risk it. Wants to have those Zerglings still alive and in the map so he can take that map control, maybe deny that probe.
My gosh.
Oh, wow. InControl has this probe hidden over towards the third. This could be very dangerous for Ret if he doesn't scout this probe out and goes for another cannon rush. Ret is dropping. Oh my god, he is going to go for it. And Ret dropped another hatchery down there as well, so this is a very vulnerable position for him that he can't afford to lose after investing that much in it.
And look at this. Oh my god, this is just so crazy. It looks like that one cannon is going to be unpowered pretty soon. What is InControl doing inside of his base? Looks like just getting a lot of gas. I'm not sure why he's getting so much gas, because we're having another cannon rush going down right here. And does he see it? No, he doesn't. He doesn't see that it's coming. So this photon cannon rush might be really profitable.
Yeah, as we can see, Ret, 4 more drones in production. He's not making any lings, so he's not going to have anything to do with these cannons. Do those drones see it? No, he still does have no vision of that cannon, so it's going to actually complete before he knows what's going on here. Now, the problem is that with the creep spread, it's going to be difficult for InControl to actually move this forward close enough to do damage to the mineral line, but he will be able to attack this first hatchery, or the second hatchery, and now he's the second cannon on the way as well. Looks like that hatchery was canceled by Ret, but of course he will be able to defend the actual expansion itself. That
definitely sucks for Ret, but you know, he is still in advantage in my opinion, just because he has this expansion going down. Now he's going to bring 3 queens all the way over here.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to bring those over just to make sure that he's going to be safe. But, I mean, look at this creep spread. Oh, actually nope, the cannon is attacking the cocoon, the eggs. I thought maybe it was actually able to attack the hatchery, but no, it's out of range. So, and with that creep spread, InControl's not actually able to spread cannons up to attack that base. So, Ret, I mean, yeah, it's a little bit annoying that he almost lost, I guess, that Overlord, but he really doesn't have to worry about this. He's not actually taking any pressure on the expansion itself, and I feel like InControl is overcommitting this. Look at that, 2 more cannons on the way and another pylon, when the cannons are not actually putting any real pressure on Ret. But it looks like Ret's going to try to bust it anyways, lowering down those 2 spine crawlers as well as bringing in the 3 queens. Nice transfuses, but it looks like it's not quite going to be enough.
Yep, and the spine crawlers are able to plant. That's going to give him the DPS to take out those cannons, but 1 queen goes down. A little bit of a mistake there. But with this 1 spine crawler being here, it will be able to edge out. And oh, the queen comes up. Unfortunate event. And it looks like that cannon will go down, but you know, these cannons are just like sitting here. What can you do with this?
They're not really useful. That's the problem. They're not. If these cannons were putting pressure on the hatchery, that would be one thing. But right here, I mean, he's continuing to build them. The amount of money that he has invested in this cannon rush is insane. And look at that. Ret has scouted out the Stargate, making that Void Ray. So, of course, he will be able to defend against that pretty accordingly. There's his Evo chamber just finishing now, so we'll be able to set up some spores if he wants. Alternatively, could just use some extra queens, but it looks like he is going to set up a couple spores. 1 now at the 3rd, and 1 in the main, I believe. Where's that second spore being made? Oh, no, it's just another one at the 3rd. So he's just really worried about the pressure on that 3rd with the cannon rush. Now, what's good about this range control is that these cannons defend these pylons. Those pylons are, of course, so important because once Warp Gate Tech actually does get out, we'll be able to start warping in units there. But I feel like for that to have been his strategy, he should have, you know, changed his build up a little bit. Instead of rushing up to that Void Ray, should have rushed out that Warp Gate Tech and got on the gateway.
I think InControl is really just freestyling at this point. It's getting really tough. Now, just trying to attack a little bit up, he loses all of his shields. He can always drop back to these photon cannons, but I just feel like he can never be the aggressor. He can't keep going, so he's relying too much. I don't know. This might be of an over-investment on these cannons over here. I really feel like this didn't pay off. Now a second Void Ray and a Phoenix getting in here, but still InControl going up to 4 gateways, 5 gateways actually, so a total of 6. And he will try to press on onto Liquid Ret. Look at the income tab, 63 harvesters, 241. Ret should be finished completely with actually making drones. I would expect him just be roaching up at this point and defending against any incoming attack.
Yeah, he should be pretty darn well defended. Nice lift on that queen. She might be able to kill off, but no, there's the transfuse. He does have another one available. Does transfuse it just barely in time. So these Void Rays are actually going to be forced to fall back. Nice job keeping that queen alive. InControl's in a lot of trouble right now because what he did was not only delayed his tech by getting all those cannons, then he delayed those gateways by getting these Void Rays, and the Void Rays have essentially done basically 0 damage so far this game. So to invest in 2 Void Rays, a Stargate and a Phoenix, which is going to delay, of course, those 6 gateways and how many units he can make, it's just going to put him that much further behind. And Ret, I mean, he's got a bunch of roaches out. He's got more and more on the way. Actually, 14 drones on the way right now, so he's feeling very confident. InControl is just warping in a ton of Zealots. I don't know if that's going to be enough against these roaches from Ret.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult. Is he going to break down the Destructible Rocks? I would love him to actually start charging up on the Destructible Debris and then attacking. That would be probably the better thing to do. But nevertheless, we do see a lot of roaches coming up here. Lifted up 1 roach, but you know, it's still a long way to go because every single time he lifts up 1 roach, Ret can make, you know, 30 more.
Yeah,
and look at that drone saturation. This is getting ridiculous. And look at that.
9
also,
more, man. Oh my god, he's up to
cannon,
90 drones right now.
I'm actually surprised that he went 30 more drones after I said he should stop.
Yeah, dude.
And he's going to be punished for this.
94 drones
He's
going
to be punished.
Yeah, he is going to be punished. Look, he has no army. And now all these sentries are going to be able to force field the ramp. InControl might actually be able to take this 3rd base down.
Yep, here we go. InControl has a beautiful position with the photon cannons really coming into play this time around. I mean, Ret it's really Ret blundering right here. Now another Warpin is coming out. Stalkers are going to go into the low ground. I think they could have probably gone to the high ground instead, but it's still fine. That one Void Ray just doing massive damage. Roach is trying to get out here. Ret paying the price of going from 60 to 90 drones. Just really, really silly.
Yeah, just way over max saturation, not really actually helping him, and of course making all those drones means just that he wasn't making those roaches. He should have realized how far ahead he was, since those Void Rays did no damage, and instead of just trying to get further ahead, should have at least played it safe enough defending against this army. There's actually a very large army from InControl. It's very scary. Ret does not have that many roaches out, and of course the roaches do have +1 at least, but so does InControl. He has +1 as well. Looks like some of the sentries being taken out though, and InControl is starting to lose his momentum.
Yep, he needs to back up right now, go back to the cannons. That's absolutely fine. But the big thing is he lost all of his sentries. Income tab is showing now only 76 harvesters,
well,
250. But you can
he's
see
on 2 base, man.
Yeah, 2 base. Look at the income difference. He has 50% more drones, but he's getting maybe 7% more income. It's not worth it to have that many. And now it's just causing him to fall behind, in my opinion. But look at this. InControl gonna get caught way out of position. The Roach is coming out from behind, and all of these Stalkers are gonna go down. Additionally, he loses all of his momentum. He has no way. He has to remake everything. And losing his cannons over here gives him a huge station, or loses him a huge station to actually start attacking.
Yeah, Ret has actually gotten a huge army up now with that huge drone count, so he'll be able to retake that 3rd base and shouldn't be in too much trouble. He'll already have the drone saturation to be able to fully saturate it the second it completes, but more importantly, he has this extremely large Roach army that's going to be very difficult for InControl to deal with. He does have more and more Stalkers warping in at the main, but I feel like he desperately needs some sentries in here. Unless he has forces on this ramp, I can't see him actually holding off this large number of Roaches.
Yeah, this is so difficult for InControl. It just, the tides turn so fast. InControl is going to be under attack right now. The Roaches are going to get in here, and are they going to go just directly? Yeah, they're just going to focus down this one Cybernetics core. And that's going to disable him from making any more sentries or stalkers.
Yeah, all we can make is zealots right now, and of course zealots not too effective against roaches. He can keep making these immortals, of course, out of his robo. But until he gets that cybernetics core up, I would actually advise him to start making some voids from his Stargate. Do something here to defend against these roaches, because he needs something to defend, and he can't make anything. So as long as you have that production available, use it is what I would say. But you actually saw Ret check the 3rd. He was expecting that InControl would have taken the 3rd during all that aggression, but of course he didn't. So Ret's got to be feeling pretty darn confident right now, as his 3rd's about 3/4 of the way done. He's double expanding, taking the gold now as well. InControl does got this with the Phoenix, but there's really nothing he can do about it.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a while for him to push out here, and he needs to get space before he ever can even think about engaging against these roaches. But with that Immortal, he is getting kind of buff. That will help him quite a bit. But still, it's a little bit of ways before InControl can actually push out to take that gold expansion. By then, creep should be spread. And look at this, the transition. He's going over to Zerglings. I don't think he even has Metabolic Boost, by the way.
Does he really? Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, he's still not gotten that upgrade. And look at that. Actually, his main is now mined out, so he has like 22 or 20 drones over there that he'll be able to transfer over to that gold. And his 3rd, of course, fully saturated already. Looks like InControl is moving out with a large number of Stalkers. They do have Blink, so that's going to be very helpful against these roaches from Ret. And especially with the fact that he doesn't have the creep spread up to that gold just yet. It is pretty close, though. And InControl has to make sure he doesn't overextend, because these Zerglings, if they get good surround, he could be in a lot of trouble. He's going to take so much damage here. One Immortal joining the fray. A second one right behind. He needs to get those Zealots in front. He's starting to blink back the forward Stalkers. And some pretty nice micro here by InControl, but he's got to be very careful because I feel like he might be overextending himself.
Yeah, Zerglings are actually thinning out, and now finally working on those roaches. Additional swarms of units coming from behind, even drones coming in here. I don't know if it's going to be enough for either of these players. It's so hard to tell. Stalkers are not being blinked back. They need to get the heck out of here, because yes, there's just too much now. A huge warping of units. I would have loved Zealots instead, though, because there's a lot of drones here. Just kill those, but the Stalkers are going to have to kill them first. And there goes all of InControl's army. It looks like, yes, Ret will be able to hold, and look at that supply, 157 to 77 orb. I have to say, Ret, because he held that off, that's going to put him way ahead in this game. The main of InControl is mining out.
Yeah, this is pretty much an insurmountable disadvantage for InControl. I mean, the fact that maybe if he had some of his sentries left over still, but he was only on 2 base, he might be able to pull off some type of miracle here.
Oh,
but without any Colossi, any sentries, any high-tech units here, he's really just has Blink Stalkers and Immortals. And he really has no way to deal with the Lings. Their speed finally finished for Ret.
The 19-minute
speed timing, man.
that is the timing, if anything. So nevertheless, Ret is going to be able to just make a ton of these units with that gold expansion up. Of course, that third is running as well. And look at that, going over to Greater Spire. He already has that Hive Tech. InControl, he just has Stalker Immortal, and it's not that great. He wants at least one Colossus to deal with those Zerglings.
Absolutely. More would be better. Colossi get better with numbers, of course. So you generally want like a magic number of about 4 if you are going to go for Colossi, unless you're just trying to fake your opponent into making too many Corruptors. Looks like the rocks are going to be taken out, so Ret's just going to open up this attack path, and he's going to move forward with these Speedlings. Gets a nice surround. The Immortals are taking a ton of damage right now. He's target firing them down. Yeah, there we go with those Roaches doing a ton of damage to InControl's army. And he's not kiting. He's not blink microing right now, and unfortunately, he's losing pretty much his entire army. This third expansion, nice attempt by InControl, but it will go down, and right now it's 185 boot to 57. There's the GG from InControl. Ret's going to take game number 1.
So it was a flip-flop game, I feel. Like, InControl had a lot of capacity to win that the entire match because, in my opinion, when he caught his opponent off guard going up to 90 drones, and, you know, obviously he had nothing to deal with. You know, he was getting not only great kills coming out from every single one of those Roaches, but he was denying another third, basically eliminating that entire harvester count because there's not a big difference in income between 50 drones and 90 drones when you're only on 2 base. From there, he should have just continued and built up. I think pushing into that natural was the wrong decision.
As I was just about to talk about, InControl did have an opportunity in that game where it looked like it was actually possible. He could have won. He had that big army there. He had actually taken out the third of Ret. So Ret had all those drones he couldn't do anything with, but I feel like it was the wrong decision to move in. I feel like he got a little too excited, like, oh my god, I'm beating Ret right now, I'm going to go in for the kill, I'm going to win this game, I'm going to end it now, and I feel like it would have been a much better decision since he already had the cannon set up at the third to just go take a third of his own, instead of going for the all-in, just attacking, take your own third, sit outside the Zerg natural, and force field the ramp, don't allow them to leave, don't allow them to ever go take a third base again, starve them out while you take your own third, while you do have that army advantage instead of throwing it away.
Yeah, and, you know, it was a very precarious situation at the time because, of course, InControl already invested so much into what he was doing. Think of all the cannons, think of all the Void Rays. So actually, if you want to look at it this way, you know, we can look at it as a ticking time bomb of the main and the natural because they are slowly running out of minerals. And I think just camping outside his opponent's base, he could have done that for the rest of the game. Yeah. That's all he had to do, knowing that it was so much later in the game. You know your opponent is very drone heavy, harvester heavy. You can always have that advantage in army if you just wait it out, go to that 200 limit. Even if it's off a 2 base, your opponent will never have a stronger army than you. But still, you know, it's tough to call. InControl, of course, thought he could win there. He overextended. Ret's going to take the first game with a lot of resilience, I do have to say. We're going to go into game number 2 and see if InControl can turn around or if Ret can close out 2-0. Join us. We're going to be going over to Terminus SE after this break.